Hey, what's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about something that many of you may not be aware of. Okay? As you saw by the title, I'm going to talk to you about the American propaganda machine. Okay? And the fact that most of what is put out through major news outlets is fake. Right? A lot of you may not believe this. A lot of you may think I'm crazy. I am able to see real versus fake very easily. I have an ability to discern between the two, like this. Others don't. So for you that don't, I encourage you to look into these things for yourselves and find out. All right? This started way back in 1953 by the CIA with something called Operation Mockingbird. Okay? That was a program implemented, whereas they took, I think it was 400 CIA agents and planted them as news reporters in all of the major news networks, ABC, NBC, etc. Right? They started feeding them memos every day of news of what they wanted to report. The reason they created this program was to be able to change the feeling of the American public and control the narrative of what's actually happening in America and in the world. They wanted the power to control the public in their emotions. They wanted the power to also keep the people in a state of constant fear, therefore being able to take away more of their rights. This is all fact. You can look all of this up. Okay? So, speaking on a more recent issue, in 2012, the United States created something called the NDAA. All right? It stands for the National Defense Authorization Act. What that did was it negated another act that's called the Smith-Mundt Act. And that Smith-Mundt Act was a law in place that stated that the government was not allowed to lie, okay, to deliberately lie to the public and to sway them in any direction for their own desires. So since 2012, the law actually says that they are allowed to do that now. They're allowed to lie for whatever reason they want about any topic they want. They don't have to reveal truths anymore. They can create anything that they want. All right? In addition to that, you can check this and confirm this for yourself. The Pentagon itself, that one single agency, spends close to $5 billion a year on propaganda. Okay? On controlling the narrative. This applies to everything, all the worldwide news. Listen, every major war we've ever been in was basically the support for those war efforts were created by propaganda. The United States government makes up whatever story they want, and they put it out there to get the public support to go to war, to murder, and basically to invade other nations and steal their natural resources, or to place themselves strategically, geographically, in locations of power where they want to have bases. That's all these wars are about. There have never been any serious threats to our nation. It's false propaganda. It's bullshit. So not only does it apply to this, it applies to other world leaders that they have an issue with, Saddam Hussein, Gaddafi, and others. These people were killed as a result of this exact propaganda machine. Millions of Iraqis were killed. Millions, because of the claim that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, which was a lie. A flat-out lie. It's a lie. So there are so many things that are lies. I can go on and on. I don't want to go too far into this because most of you won't believe this anyway. That's why I encourage you to look into it for yourselves. Okay? I have made some videos about these mass shootings that have been happening in this country. I know for a fact and most of them are fake. I made videos explaining and showing why I believe so. YouTube has removed all those videos. So let me ask you guys a question. Why would YouTube, Facebook, all the major media players remove anyone's opinion videos? Why? Why am I not allowed to have an opinion that differs other than the status quo? Why? We're about freedom of speech in this country, right? First Amendment doesn't apply anymore. Things are changing right now to the point where we're being censored. You cannot disagree with the mainstream narrative. And it goes even further. Before I get to that, that NDAA Act also allows the United States government to basically kidnap any American citizen without charges, without formally charging them, and keep them imprisoned indefinitely, forever, without charging them. Look it up yourselves. There's a lot of shit involved in that. Took away most of our rights. All right? They're eavesdropping on us. They're listening to every conversation we have, every transmission of messages, emails, everything. Faxes, everything. Okay? But the point I was about to make was it's so much worse as of just a couple days ago. I think it was 5 days ago. The FBI came out and said that conspiracy theorists, which some would say I am because I don't believe in these bullshit mass shootings, so I'm a conspiracy theorist according to some. Conspiracy theorists are now to be declared domestic terrorists. Think about that. Think how serious this is. This goes back to that book 1984 with Thought Police. You can't even think anything other than what they want you to think. And if you do, you're now going to be a criminal. You're going to be called a fucking terrorist. You know how serious it is to be called a terrorist? And now people who just say, oh, 9/11 was a false flag. America did it. They did it. There were bombs in those buildings in the Twin Towers. They demolished Building 7. People who say Sandy Hook school shooting was fake. They're crisis actors. No one actually died. Orlando nightclub shooting, fake. All these things. Just for saying that, for voicing your opinion, for believing something different, for having the freedom of your own thought, you are going to be deemed a fucking terrorist. So all this land of the free, home of the brave bullshit, I don't believe in any of that shit. So I'm making this video to encourage you guys to stop believing everything you fucking see on the news. Okay? Most of it is manufactured. Most of it is bullshit. And most of it is about keeping you in a constant state of fear and also keeping you so dumbed down to not realize what's really happening behind the scenes. Okay? The government looks at us as fucking sheep and they just want to control you. That's it. And the mass shootings are all about taking away your gun rights because that's all they need. That's the last thing in place to stop this government fucking stomping all over us, is that there are millions and millions of gun owners in this country. That's why every time there's a mass shooting, the first shit that comes out is all these people saying gun control, ban this, ban that. Why? Why should we do that? Why should we give up our right to protect ourselves? And the answer is because the government wants to fucking stomp us. And that's the only thing stopping them from doing so. So think about these things for yourselves, guys. Remember what I say about the news. The only thing I think is honest all the time in the news is the fucking weather forecast. That's it. Most of the other shit, aside from small local stories, most of the other shit is bullshit. It's fucking propaganda. It's all mind control. And to think that now it's against the law and you be called a criminal for having a fucking opinion is mind-blowing to me. So say goodbye to fucking America, land of free, home of the brave, First Amendment. None of that shit exists anymore. Look into it for yourselves, guys. I'll talk to you next time.